So namaste to all. A big, very warm welcome to all who took your valuable time and joined us today to be the part of this webinar. I'm Dr. Dhanya, Senior Medical Officer and co-host for today's session. We are truly delighted and honored to have you all with us. Just a few house rules before we get started. Only the first 1,000 participants will be able to view through our Zoom link, and all the others can watch the live streaming through the YouTube channel. For an uninterrupted watching, we have turned off the video cameras and muted all the invitees. If you have any queries regarding this session, please convey it through the Q&A box, which you can see at the bottom of the Zoom panel. And it's better to keep in the Q&A box. That will be more easy to answer all your queries rather than sending through the chat box. And thank you for the cooperation. The schedule of the webinar will focus on the importance of pranayama in integrated practice of Ayurveda and yoga. I wish this webinar enlighten us all and provide us approaches to deal with the problems. Now, I would like to request Dr. Jayarajan, CEO of Kerala Ayurveda USA and Executive Vice President of Kerala Ayurveda Limited, and the mentor of this session to guide us through the today's webinar. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Dhanya. Namaste, everyone. Let us start with the invocation. Yogena chittasya padena vajam malam sharirasya javaidyakena yopakarottam pravaram muninam padanjalim pranjarilana dosmi. This invocation contains the essence of today's talk. Yogena chittasya, through yoga, the purification and the harmony of the mind, through Vaidyagam, through Ayurveda, through Chikitsa, the purification and harmony of the body. And through the right language and the grammar, the purification of our verbal expressions, the only three human actions we do in our life. So yoga is now mainstream globally, and it is really fast, growing fast. Ayurvedic yoga therapy is an emerging profession in the US. There is a professional membership in National Ayurvedic Medical Association in the US called Ayurvedic Yoga Therapy. I am an AYT. So, and there are a lot of scientific studies, we all know that, about the efficacy of yoga and all the various limbs of yoga. That could be asana, pranayama, meditation, in healing as well as well-being. And yoga is one of the a main topic in the curriculum of BAMS in India, as a part of the Swastavrata in the second profession of BAMS. But if you look at our practice, the BAMS, MD doctors in our practice, how much we are incorporating the knowledge of yoga, the pranayama, various aspects of yoga, and there's a whole opportunity. The whole world is open to it, and there's a whole opportunity to add value to what we do in our practice for our yogis. And today, we have a resource. I don't think we can have a better resource in helping us understand how we can incorporate pranayama in our professional practice with Ayurveda, the integration. So I'm so happy to moderate this session with my friends, Dr. V. Suresh Kumar. We were together at the same time in the Ayurvedic College. not only now, he has been always a role model for all of us. Somebody who came from the yoga and fitness field into Ayurveda as a student of Ayurveda. And after studying Ayurveda, then specializing in the field of yoga. So he is a BSc, BAMS, and MSc YT, yoga therapy. And then going to a country, another country in Malaysia, and working as a senior lecturer in health and wellness in Taylor's University, Malaysia. And over a period of last 7 years, about 1,200 students. So 30 years of experience in the yoga and in the fitness training area, and over 20 years of as Ayurvedic physician, somebody who has seamlessly integrated Ayurveda and yoga in his teachings and in his practice. So I'm so happy to introduce Dr. V. Suresh Kumar to all of you, and let us listen to him and see how we can incorporate his guidance in our practice. Dr. Suresh, I'm so happy to share the stage with you. I'm so proud of you, what you are doing with the Ayurveda and yoga for this world and being a role model. Thank you for joining. Please take on.
Thank you. First of all, my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Jayarajan, CEO of this Kerala Ayurveda Limited, and the moderator of this program, and one of the organizers of this program, Dr. Tanya, for inviting me to this Kalpagam Talk series organized by Kerala Ayurveda Research and Education Foundation, initiated by Kerala Ayurveda Limited. We can share the screen now, right?
Yes.
Can see the screen now, please?
Yes.
Fine. Importance of pranayama in integrated practice of Ayurveda and yoga. It's the topic I have to explain here, and I will try to answer your doubts also within this within our time, within 1 hour. Introducing myself, already introduced. Here, this is a slide when I present here. What is the significance of this slide? But the importance is, the sense of purpose and perseverance that is never lost are the elements we need most for health care. That's an important thing we have to remember, keep in mind in our life, those who are more interested in personal health care. Scheme of presentation. Here, the integrated practice of Ayurveda and yoga. Prana, what is prana in Ayurveda and prana in yoga? Pranayama and normal breathing. Physiology of pranayama. Shallow and deep breathing, types of pranayama, physiological basis of health, improvements by pranayama practice. Pranayama as a therapy. Then conclusion, these are the slides, but I have to tell you first, I will spend some time explain how to practice some pranayama techniques. Generally, we will use in our pranayama therapy and the normal yoga practices, how to, you can, check how I will explain here and how you are practicing in your everyday life and how you are giving that technique to your patients or the needy people. That because from the side of Dr. Jayarajan, he suggested to give something to the participants practically applicable in their life. Therefore, I will take some time from to explain certain practical techniques and pranayama practice. Integrated practice of Ayurveda and yoga. This is the part I have to tell you. What is this integrated practice? Dr. Jayarajan already given some important points there. In his introduction, in his introductory speech, he already given the important significance of this topic in this present world and in future. Ayurveda and yoga are two emerging sciences that have emerged as part of our culture in our country with almost the same goal. Ayurveda and yoga are holistic health sciences. Mainly, promotive, preventive, and curative aspect of the problems related to our body, mind, and spirit. But in that aspect, even though developed in same country, the culture and goal almost the same, but in that level integration is happening in this world or not. But how much is the Ayurvedic community ready to use the combination of these two sciences when we need it? This integration, actually, what is the meaning of this integration? From here, I have to tell you certain things, what I'm explaining here, from my experience in teaching, training, and in yoga therapy, in that aspect, what I noted directly, what is happening in the case of patients, their enhancement, their improvement, their cure, in that aspect, what I noted in my this professional life. In that way, sometimes you can't see from textbooks and the other references certain points what I am talking here. You can ask questions if you have any doubt related to that points when I explain here. Okay, our body, if we think our body is like a farm or field, agricultural field. If we consider that health is seed, sowing the seed. But after sowing the seed, there will be different kind of methods of agriculture, way of farming, growing that seed, that health. That different ways of farming is our different health systems. Modern science, modern health science, homeopathy, or different traditional health sciences, different countries, whatever it is, Ayurveda, yoga, naturopathy, whatever it is. All these are different farming systems, ways. But it is, we can find that the base, the quality of the seed, the quality of farming, the quality of the soil or field, all these components are important. But remember that in the case of practice of Ayurveda, to apply Ayurveda, to prepare our body for the proper application of Ayurveda, we have to prepare our body. We have to prepare our mind. We have to prepare our spirit. In that aspect, we can't place any other thing, above the level of yoga in this world to prepare our system, human system, to apply Ayurveda. We can use yoga in Ashtanga Yoga, Yama, Niyama. In Ayurveda, we will follow the daily routine. Yama, Niyama, that will process individuals to good personalities with good habits. Once good habits means no need to worry about the healthy lifestyle and the daily routine. We can correct that. If we practice asanas, we can prepare our body. We practice pranayama, we can strengthen our physiological functions and strengthen mind. If we practice meditation, that will contribute from the deepest to the peripheral layer. Spirit, mind, physiological functions, and the body. Now the latest research is showing pranayama and meditation can use in the prevention and healing of cancer, because the stability of the chromosome, stability of the DNA is very important in the case of prevention and healing of cancer. The N proteins, chromosome layers, the N proteins, the first and the last proteins, telomers, these proteins stability can be improved with the practice of pranayama and meditation. You see, this is the latest findings, but many researches going on, and many researchers already completed. Ayurveda and yoga are the unique holistic health sciences of India. The integrated practice of Ayurveda and yoga, promotive, preventive, and curative aspect, the greatest need of this age and tomorrow. Yoga can provide a strong base for the application of Ayurveda in human system. This is what I mean, integrated practice of Ayurveda and yoga. Pranayama, prana in Ayurveda and prana in yoga. We know that what is pranayama? Pranayama is not the control of breath. When I talk about pranayama in this angle, if someone asking pranayama control breath, we will tell yes. But asking some more, strong question, is pranayama is a control of breath? Then we have to tell no. Why? Because pranayama is not simply the control of breathing, or pranayama is not simply the breathing exercises. Pranayama is the control of prana using yoga techniques. That is pranayama. In Ayurveda, biological vayu biological vayu and physical vayu. In Ayurveda, there is biological vayu and physical vayu. Biological vayu, vada, our body, from 5 basic elements. Whatever we eat, drink, and breathe, go inside, that will transform to dosha, dhatu, malas. One of the doshas, vada, biological vayu, vada, the somatic humor appears in the primary motive force and the factor responsible for the knowledge or jnana. There are 5 divisions of vada: prana, udana, vyana, samana, and apana. Pranavada is responsible for all life functions and the most essential for human existence. While commenting on Pranavaha Srotas, Chakrapani has stated clearly that this special air known as prana is breathed into the respiratory system during the act of respiration, inspiration. The invisibility, instability, and self-existence indicate that vada is a form of energy. This pranavada is a form of energy. Here, pranan, 5 divisions: prana, udana, vyana, samana, and apana. Pancha pranas. And here, the first pranan is exactly same like the pranan in yoga. Here, we can conclude in this way: prana is a biological vayu, division of vada, the somatic humor, prana. There are functions of prana and so many explanations about that. But here, just mentioning, prana is one of the divisions of vada, somatic humor. But in yoga, that prana and this prana are the same or different. Prana in yoga, according to yoga, prana is not the breath. And pranayama is not just about controlling the breath. The prana is the life in the body or in the whole world. The most visible form of prana is breath. All the functions of human being are done by the power of prana. So if the prana is controlled, it can control all the functions that take place in a human being. The question is, the point we have to think here is, in pranayama or in yogic concept, the prana entering to our body from the universe, from this nature, through our breath, the good quality food what we eat, sattvic food, from good quality drinks what we are drinking, from our breath, from our food and drinks, prana will enter to our system. That is prana, the life energy. But in Ayurveda, prana is the division of somatic humor, biological vada, that is producing in human system from the Panchafudas. But when we think more about this, we can find that both are same, because the invisibility, instability, and self-existence indicate that vada is a form of energy. Therefore, prana in Ayurveda and prana in yoga is actually the same. Pranayama and normal breathing. Control of prana using yogic techniques, that is pranayama. Prana, swasa prashwasayo gedivichedara pranayama, according to Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. Control of prana using yogic techniques. Control of prana using yogic techniques. Production of energy with the intake of oxygen and the release of carbon dioxide. That is the normal breathing. Pranayama, conscious with awareness, is automatic without awareness. Conscious with awareness means when practice pranayama, we will ask certain questions. Who is practicing? What is the purpose of practice? Why they are practicing? What they practicing? How they practicing? Then only that the practice can be effective. Slow and deep. Pranayama is, there are fast pranayama practice, but generally the fast pranayama practice all belonging to the purification techniques called the kriyas, but certain techniques are put under the pranayama also. Generally pranayama is slow and it's a more effective type of practice. The other practice is a fast practice, advanced practice, and should be very careful when practicing that kind of techniques, including Fastriga, Kapalabhati, Fastriga, and Mursha Pranayama. Here, slow and deep pranayama, but the normal breathing fast and shallow. Pranayama we have to visualize with the yogic signs. In the case of normal breathing, visualization with the modern science. Pranayama is a tool for the holistic health of body, mind, and spirit. Here, the normal breathing for the existence of human life. In normal breathing, duration of exhalation is less than 50% of inhalation. Normal breathing, exhalation is short and inhalation is long. But this will change, when we sleep. Slowly that will come to the almost equal, that is in the subconscious state. When we are in the conscious state, exhalation always will be shorter than the inhalation. Therefore, it is very difficult to achieve the sympathovagal balance. But when we breathe out slow, that will strengthen the vagus nerve, vagus tone. Okay? In normal breathing, duration of exhalation is less than 50% of the inhalation. It means less than 1:1. Can't reach 1:1, less than that. Exhalation. In pranayamic breathing, the minimum inhalation exhalation ratio is 1:1. Minimum. Then only we can use that word pranayama. I mentioned that excluding Kapalabhati, Fastrika, and Mursha. That's different. All other pranayama techniques, this is the ratio. Minimum 1:1. Physiology of pranayama. This also, I know majority of the participants here, those who are attending this, you know that about this because you are Ayurveda physicians and the yoga practitioners or yoga masters. When we think about the functional aspect, based on yoga, this physiology, we will use this physiology, koshas, different koshas, annamaya kosha, physical body, manomaya kosha, the mental body, pranamaya kosha, the pranic body, vijnanamaya kosha, the psychic body, anandamaya kosha, bliss body, Pranic body made up of the 5 major pranas. Pranayama influences the pranic centers of the body. It kindles the vital energy that flows to the entire body and illuminates it. Pranayama, when we try to control the movement of prana, that will help to activate the pranic centers, mainly the chakras. That means without the knowledge of nadis, chakras, without the knowledge of nadis and chakras, a person throwing stone, to bring down mango, put down mango, tying the eyes like that. Because we have to visualize when we want to travel to a destination if we don't know the way, how we will reach there. Therefore, without the knowledge of nadis and chakras, the practice of pranayama is not effective. The pranic body, when we try to get information about these pranic body, this type of pictures we can get from Google search. The different areas where the prana is concentrated, different pranas. This is about the representation of different koshas, different layers, Annamaya kosha, Pranamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha, this type of different layers. So nadis are the channels through which prana is flowing. We need a kind of visualization when we practice pranayama. Without that, from my experience, I'm saying, because I will treat patients advising pranayama technique, teaching, training pranayama techniques. I found that the most important part in yoga therapy, especially using even asanas, we apply also visualization there. Visualization is very important in yoga therapy. Okay. In yoga therapy is different. The same technique, the same type of pranayama we can use for general health. The practice is different. For preventive aspect, the practice is different. For treatment purpose, the practice is different. The item we have to modify and we have to make some changes. That changes will come from the master. Then only that will change to yoga therapy. Yoga therapy is a totally individualistic. How can give the same thing for different purpose? Generally can, but to make differences, to treat, we have to modify the techniques. Okay, here this is the visualization. This way we can visualize the nadis. Nadis, 72,000 nadis, different opinions there, but whatever it is, our body is a mesh or network of energy channels. Even thousands or millions, whatever it is. Network of energy channels through which this prana is flowing. Prana is our life energy. That is every system, just like the heat energy, light energy, electrical energy, that type of one energy is life energy. The whole universe is made of two. The Panchabhutas and Panchabhutas, develop from space, and the other part is the prana. That life energy, when entering to our system, that will travel to each and every nook and corner of our body through the energy channels called the nadis. This part is another important thing. Everyone, those who are planning to practice or teach or retreat using pranayama techniques, without the knowledge of nadis and chakras, not easy to treat, can't treat. Okay, then the nadis, this concept is for what actually? We can see many yoga training, different people giving training, yoga training, nadi shuddhi. Example, one pranayama technique, the basic, most basic, anuloma viloma or nadi shuddhi pranayama. How? Sit comfortably, keep the spine straight, relax, focus on the breath. Bring full attention on our breath. Sense, feel, experience. Visualize the movement of prana. What we will visualize? What we will visualize? We have to visualize the movement of prana, means we have to visualize the main nadis. Surya Nadi, Chandra Nadi, that means Pingala, Ida, then Sushumna Nadi, and the position of chakras. How this prana is moving to different areas. What are the areas connected to controlling? Which chakra controlling the energy movement, pranic energy movement to adjacent organs? Here, I have to tell you about the chakras and nadis. Generally, nadis means the whole human system is a network of energy channels called nadis. There are three main energy channels. Right side, from the right nostril to the lower end of the Sushumna Nadi, right side. That only we can tell you, because one concept is from the center of the crown to the lower end of the spine. The another concept is we have the lower end of the spine, then in between the anus and the spine, lower end of the spine, a small space there. Then again, another space between anus and the genital. That space is the perineum. From the center of crown to the perineum, that part is considering as the Mooladhara chakra, the seat of Kundalini Shakti. There are 7 chakras and 3 important nadis. These 7 chakras, the Mooladhara chakra is the lower end of the seat of Mooladhara chakra, is the lower end of the Sushumna Nadi. Then second chakra is the Swadhisthana chakra. Swadhisthana chakra, we have to, the second chakra, the position from the iliac crest, both when we come to the front, then a vertical line from the navel to the towards the pubic area, these 2 lines will intercept. From there, directly back is the position of second chakra, that is Swadhisthana chakra. The third chakra is Manipuraka chakra, solar plexus. And so plexus means all these sacral plexus. First one is root plexus, Mooladhara chakra. Second one is sacral plexus or the Swadhisthana chakra. Third one is solar plexus or Manipuraka chakra. Then the fourth one is heart plexus or Anahata chakra. Fifth one is Vishuddhi chakra or throat plexus. Sixth is the cavernous plexus or the third eye. Seventh is the crown plexus or Sahasrara chakra. These are the 7 chakras. If we know the position of chakras, then only we can modify the techniques for treatment. Then where we have to focus, where we have to visualize, how we have to direct the movement of prana when we are doing the Abhyantara Kumbhaka using some kind of bandhas. Example, Jalandhara Bandha, the simplest one. When we are using the bandhas and the visualization, we can direct the movement of prana, control the movement of prana. That is pranayama. Okay. Therefore, without without the knowledge of nadis, chakras, their positions, how connected to the adjacent organs, the person practicing pranayama means for general purpose, that's okay. For special purpose, that won't be effective. Here I explain just, because when talking about one point, this will take the whole time, 1 hour. Generally, I'm giving the positions and the name of the chakras and how that will connect it to the body parts. Then this is about the normal breathing and the shallow breathing. Normal breathing and shallow breathing. Normal breathing is shallow breathing, but pranayama is a process of slow and deep breathing. Most people do normal breathing incorrect because it is a spontaneous function of the body. In deep breathing, here I have to give you the point, shallow breathing, deep breathing. What exactly we are looking for? Deep breathing, we have to meet the body's oxygen demand, oxygenation, proper, perfect oxygenation. If we can get a pure quality air, perfect oxygenation. With the deep breathing, we can improve the health of our respiratory system. Shallow breathing is dangerous. That can't meet the body's oxygen demand. Oxygen deficiency will be there. That's dangerous. Then another thing, the mechanism, the sympathetic vagal function, sympathetic function, and our cardiovascular function, nerve function, everything, without our knowledge. Normal breathing that will provide for the survival. Therefore, we can't realize what are the changes happening in our system. We don't know. Conscious deep breathing is very important. When we try to control prana with the deep breathing using yoga techniques, that's important. Underline the point. Without yoga techniques, even we are doing deep breathing also, that will be breathing exercises, not pranayama. Deep breathing or is a dirgha pranayama. This type of techniques, anyone can practice because the 3 areas of our trunk, the body, abdominal, chest, and clavicular part, differentially can focus differentially. Expansion and contraction of these areas will help to strengthen the different lobes of the different areas of the lungs. Lower lobes, middle part of the lungs, and upper part of the upper lobes. Different types of pranayama. Sahaja or Sukha pranayama, Ujjayi pranayama, Dirgha pranayama, Aniloma Viloma pranayama, Chandrapheda, Suryapheda, Brahmari, Shidali, Shidkari, Kapalabhati, Pastriga, Murcha. These are the pranayama techniques generally we will get from different books. But in the case of therapy and special purposes, we know that now in the case of Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, there is only yoga, these asanas, the definition only there. Stiram Sukha asana. Not explaining about any asanas or nothing there. But after that, now what is happening? What is happening here? What is happening here? Hundreds of yoga postures. Why? Because the ideas, each and every nook and corner of our body, how can, the effect can reach there. That way, in that way, we can modify the pranayama techniques also, but this is dangerous. Pranayamena yuktena sarvaroga jayo bhaved. Ayukta abhyasa yogena sarvaroga samudbhava. None. When we practice this wrongly, especially the most important part of pranayama is the kumbhaga, retention. Because breathe in, breathe out, that's a normal happening. That one we can increase or decrease. The length we can extend. But holding the breath, from the yogis, masters, very long, many years, scores of years of practice, regular practice, they found that certain ratios, certain particular way we have to practice. Okay, 4 components in pranayama. Puraga, controlled inhalation. Abhyantara kumbhaga, internal breath retention. Rejaga, controlled exhalation. Bahya kumbhaga, external breath retention. Kumbhaga is the most important part of pranayama. Kumbhaga, sahaja kumbhaga, sahita kumbhaga, kevala kumbhaga. Then this type of words, abhyantara kumbhaga, bahya kumbhaga, like that, different words will come. But so kevala kumbhaga is different. That is related to the samadhi. But the other kumbhagas, when we practice, the most important, especially in treatment, compared to for general health practice, kumbhaga is very important in treatment, but we should know how to practice and how to control, how to hold that, how to release that, when to release that. That all, because example, in the normal practice, someone practicing yoga, 1 hour yoga practice means in between that everything will come. Some pranayama technique, asanas, and relaxation. But treatment, not like that. It's a treatment we can't give to anyone forcefully. We can't give pranayama therapy to anyone forcefully. Those who are very keen and interested in practice. That interest we can, develop. explaining the details of Kumbhaga or retention is the most important part of pranayama. There are different stages, 6 stages in Kumbhaga. General breathe in, breathe out. This 1:1 like that, normal general practice. At least 1:1. This will change to pranayama or otherwise not pranayama there. 1:1:2 here. You can see all the breathe in, inhalation. We can see 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Where is the change? All other things. How will change? 1:1:2. This is internal retention, exhalation, external retention. Breathe in, hold the breath, breathe out, hold the breath outside. Generally, but in terms of pranayama, we have to explain that one. When general teaching, we can use hold the breath. But when we teach, when we train a patient, better use control prana. Hold the prana inside. Hold the breath means their visualization can be different. But we have to use more pranayama related terms when we are advising patients. 1:2:2:1. 1:2:2:2. 1:3:2:2. 1:4:2:2. 1:4:2:2 is quite a tough, highly advanced. From here only we'll go to those who can reach up to that level, then only can go to the samadhi and the kevala buddha. When we breathe in, breathe out. After a deep breathe in, hold the breath. That is Sahita Kumbhaga. When we are not completing the, normal, we are not thinking about that. Just automatically that will happen. Breathe in, breathe out. On a sudden, we will try to stop our breath. That is Sahaja Kumbhaga. We are, after completing one breathe in, we are holding the breath. That is different. Sahaja Kumbhaga means just a normal state. On a sudden, hold the breath. Sometimes that can be a person breathing out, or sometimes we are breathing in, whatever it is. On a sudden, try to stop the breath and hold breath for a moment. We will think that is very simple. Sahaja Kumbhaga is the technique to pratyahara. We will realize what is pratyahara at the time. We will realize how we can withdraw our senses from the external matters to inside. Withdrawal of our senses from interacting with the external matters. Stop your breath for a moment. Then you can realize that. Now you can check. Just to stop your breath. Self-realization. You will bring your attention. You should be able to understand what is happening within you moment by moment. That state is from that state, the person will enter to the next state is Shraddha or mindfulness. From that mindfulness, the next state is concentration. From concentration, the next state is meditation. From meditation, that will go to the last part of the Ashtanga Yoga. Remember, Kumbhaga is the most important part of pranayama, but should be very careful, because without proper ratio, without proper preparations, without proper guidance, without the gradual progress, try to hold the breath without following this ratio, that's not pranayama. That type of practice that will affect the nadis and the function of internal organs and the brain. Therefore, dangerous. Scientifically, that will affect the carbon dioxide, oxygen balance, the gas, concentration of the gases in our body. That's scientifically explaining when we hold the breath, wrongly. Physiological basis, this all, you can get all these informations from different, sources when you, what are the physiological basis. But the practice of pranayama is important. We can go to a, this is a slow pranayama, improves. Slow pranayama means we can practice a slow pranayama here. Pranayama is a therapy in the prevention and healing of cancer. This one I mentioned. Here improves vagal functions, increase the cholinergic activity of beta cells, and improve this diabetes management, hypertension management, heart failure, then nerve-related complaints. Many uses. It's not simply saying, okay, all these functions, pranayama is that this will help. No, this is not fully, but I have the experience in my clinical practice with the pranayama techniques. My patients are totally, taken away the medicines and not using medicines and fully cured. Not every cases. This also the person's interest and dedication, passion, commitment, sincerity, many factors there. This is not the modern medicine use simply swallowing something or eating or the other type of medication. It's a lot of dedication and the effort needed to achieve that goal. Here, a pranayama, Nadi Shuddhi pranayama. In this Nadi Shuddhi pranayama, I would like to give some explanation how you practice this Nadi Shuddhi pranayama in the aspect of, general health and for the general health, for the preventive aspect. Now we know that pandemic period, how the whole world, Ayurveda and the yoga integrated practice, they, with a lot of curiosity, the health care workers and the different agencies was observing what is happening, the integrated practice of Ayurveda and yoga. In this Nadi Shuddhi pranayama, I would like to explain some techniques. You are practicing, regularly you are practicing, but I would like to give some points. You check anything you can get from this explanation or not. Okay. Nadi Shuddhi pranayama. Cleansing of energy channels. Alternate nostril breath. Anuloma Viloma pranayama. These are the different terms we will use to explain. Wherever we go, those who are teaching or practicing Nadi Shuddhi pranayama, we can see, but when we go there and watch, what they're doing. We have to ask sincerely ourselves what we practiced in our life, what we taught. If I am saying something, my own way interpretations, not necessarily everyone have to accept that. This is not acceptable, can. But you think about that. Okay. First of all, I have to tell you why we are learning about the nadis and chakras. Everyone can apply this. We can't get the time, to explain all these and to teach people. It's not an easy task. In the common yoga class, we need a special classes. In my common yoga classes, I won't teach. I will teach Dirgha Pranayama, Ujjayi Pranayama, and sectional breathing, that type of general things. Pranayama, my Pranayama classes all special Pranayama classes is only for Pranayama. Here, Nadi Shuddhi, when we practice, two things. Who practices? Then what is the purpose of practice? Okay, who practices? What is the purpose of practice? So for the who practices means very young children. That means below the age of, yes, I got a small children. That means about the 6 years old. Unbelievable. These epilepsy cases. Then with the support of their parents, they practice pranayama, and the improvement can see their opinion about their practice. Here, what I am saying, different age group, from the age of 8 or 12 to 18, 19, below 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, or what are the different group people they're practicing? Is a part of general health, or is a part of preventive aspect? Example, in the case of pandemic or any other sicknesses, then treatment. This is easy to give some points. That's the reason why I'm taking this particular. Okay, a person practicing for general health, this Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama, how will practice? For general health, when practice that, first of all, we have to understand, we have to teach the person. We have to explain the person how to sit, then in which direction we have to sit, or how he has to maintain his abdominal conditions and body conditions after shower, empty stomach, face towards the north or east, and sit comfortable pose, not a forced pose. Example, forcefully, sometimes people can do the lotus pose. Comfortable means the sukhasana or simple cross-leg pose. Which one is? If a person can sit 1 hour or half an hour continually lotus pose, that's fine, can sit. But the person can sit 2 minutes or 1 minute in lotus pose. Want to do pranayama 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or 20 minutes, forcing the person. Don't do like that. We have to practice in a very relaxed manner. Okay, forcefully sit and practice can. That force asana practice time, we can take the strain and effort to improve our posture. That's different. Pranayama practice time, comfortable pose. Then comfortable pose, all these arrangement, then we have to teach the individual how to, we have a different components in our everyday life, our food, our drinks, our breath. Breath is the most important. Prana is associated with that. Water and our food, they're also good quality food and good quality drinks. Prana is there. But this prana, when we enter into our body, food and the drinks all we can taste, we can smell. But how we will realize the power of prana? Through the visualization of nadis. How can visualize? Bring full attention within us. That's why we have to use Sahaja Kumbhaka. Teach them how to stop breath and how to understand self, how to understand what is happening within us every moment, what is happening in our immediate surroundings, not outside. Teach them to sense, feel, visualize, experience, understand what is happening during the process of our breath. This is how we will teach. Okay, sit comfortably, spine straight, relax. Then close your right nostril, breathe in through the left, breathe out through the right, breathe in through the right, breathe out through the left. Finish. That's our Nadi Shuddhi. One set, 8 to 10 cycles. Okay? 8 to 10 cycles, one set. After one set, relax, then repeat. That's Nadi Shuddhi. For general health, some extent, that will help. If we practice the exhalation is longer than inhalation, sometimes if we not teach properly, what will happen? Breathe out will be shorter than breathing. When breathe deep, long, then if the person don't know how to breathe, Ujjayi, deep breath, the person will be in big trouble. Because breathe out fast, that's not pranayama. That's not Nadi Shuddhi. If the exhalation is shorter than inhalation, that practice is wrong. Okay, in this Nadi Shuddhi always 1:1 or 1:2. Inhalation, exhalation. I'm not talking about holding the breath. Here, this is for general health, just for breathe in, breathe out. How to practice? We have to understand the movement of prana. Are you able to visualize the nadis and chakras within you? Are you able to visualize the whole system? What you have is transparent and the nadis and chakras glowing within you. Then the question is, we know the different the scientific matters connected to human system, therefore easy to understand. That is the role of master. Based on the education of the student, we have to find ways to explain the nadis and the chakras to the student.
Dr. Suresh,
Time is over.
the topic is very interesting and very engaging, but we are 15 minutes over than what we expected already. So if you can make it, okay, that would be better. Okay. So please conclude, not a problem, but let us make it crisp. Thank you.
Okay. Conclude means
Now you can finish it, the talk, but let us make it within next few minutes, if possible.
okay. This is the point. Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama to practice. We have to sense prana with the knowledge of nadis and chakras, and try to develop the capacity to visualize the movement of prana. Then practice how the fingers, the index finger, middle finger, fold this, bring the tip of the fingers to the root of the thumb, and the other fingers, the little finger and the ring finger, place close. Bring the palm close to the nose. Then close the right nostril. When we practice, we have to make sure sometime when we touch here, our head will turn to the side or keep the posture correct, and breathe in to the left, breathe out to the right, breathe out to the right, breathe in to the right, breathe out to the left. This type of cycles we have to repeat 8 to 10. Point to keep in mind, we should know the chakras and the nadis with the knowledge, with that knowledge, the nadi shuddhi. We don't know what is nadi, we don't know what is shuddhi, then how can be that nadi shuddhi pranayama? Therefore, shuddhi means from the chakras. Chakras are the organizers of prana which can absorb, store, assimilate, and distribute prana. This prana is spinning and distributing from the chakras, and that will illuminate the nadis. That will flush the nadis of our physical, physiological, and mental body. The toxins, physical toxins, physiological toxins, mental toxins, that will drain. That is the way we have to practice Nadi Shuddhi. This is in the case of Jana practice. For this preventive aspect, this is the health care aspect. In the preventive aspect, the movement of prana, we have to direct to the whole body, and that energy have to radiate up to the peripheral layers. The whole body will shine like a halo. The whole body is like a halo and will shine with this power of prana and our aura. That means we have to develop a protective layer of a pranic energy to shield all kind of negative influences. That is the way we will practice. In the case of treatment, where is the problem? Generally, we will practice first. After that, we'll focus the chakra. Example, a person with a disc prolapse. Then that person have to focus the Swadhisthana chakra and Manipuraka chakra. One chakra each and both together, then that energy spreading to the lumbar spine and the adjacent areas all. In this way, where the problem? Where is the problem? General practice, in addition to that, we have to focus in that particular chakra, and after holding the breath, try to do the Jalandhara Bandha. Then with the Jalandhara Bandha, when practicing Jalandhara Bandha, we have to train how to hold the breath, different correct ratios. That is the way we have to practice. That means Nadi Shuddhi can practice for general health, can use for some more special purpose and for treatment. These all based on the modifications and variations of how we are visualizing the chakras and nadis and using the special techniques to direct the prana to different areas to satisfy or fulfill special purposes. That's the point I have to tell you about the treatment, this yoga therapy, this pranayama therapy. Sorry for the time is very limited. Not limited, actually. I explained. Any questions here? Shuddhi have the same meaning of Shodhana. Yes. Any other questions, please? No other questions? Then we can stop here. Any my
So there are many questions, and your talk has been very engaging. We can see how passionate you are about this subject and the practice of it. So really grateful for your time and for presenting today. So there are many questions because of the positive time. And, some of the questions are about, what type of pranayama for different health conditions. It's not the simple question for you to answer. So there is question about any suggestion to patients who are still suffering the breathing difficulties and severe fatigue after COVID attack, then for hypertension, diabetes. So these are detailed questions. We would suggest you to reach out later to get these answers. Right, Dr. Suresh, you have any quick inputs to them?
Yeah, this question is the different health issues. Example, hypertension. Hypertension, we have to check why this hypertension happening. Because of stress, or because of increase of cholesterol, or because of vasoconstriction. We have to find out the reason first. Then that's one side, but pranayama we can give vasodilating type of two areas. One, vasodilating, and the two is relaxation. Relaxation type of pranayama means mainly Shidali pranayama, Chandrabheda pranayama, then Nadi Shuddhi very carefully we have to do. That is best 1:1:1:1, that way. Or without holding the breath, we have to do 1:1 type of Nadi Shuddhi with the visualization. The whole body we have to visualize, and the movement of prana we have to sense and feel that. But that 1:1 we can increase. That means first you can start with the 3 seconds or 4 seconds, 4 seconds, then 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 6 seconds, like that. Enjoy the movement of prana. That's the way to relax. That relaxation and the vasodilatation will help to reduce the hypertension. That is the hypertension related case. Then the other is diabetes. Diabetes means, the sugar control. We have to practice pranayama. That is the insulin formation we have to increase with the cholinergic activity. That in that case, in a controlled manner, that needed Nadi Shuddhi everyone can practice. But the Kapalabhati pranayama, we have to train them with the modification. Modification means don't go fast within 1 second, 2 strokes like that. 1 second, one, but that also don't try to pull so much abdomen towards inside in a very relaxed manner. When we practice, when go up to about 20 to 30 strokes, we can feel that, our channels opening and a kind of, detoxifying effect of our brain and the whole system. That kind of experience we can develop from what I'm saying, Nadi Suthi and cleansing type of pranayama techniques we have to use in the case of the diabetes. But heart diseases and hypertension don't go for fast type of strokes. That is relaxation and vasodilatation type of methods.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. There are many questions. I think we need to close the session now. I'm going to take one more quick. What is the ideal time of doing pranayama?
Okay. The ideal time to practice pranayama, this is for, the question is, what is the ideal time to practice pranayama? There also, I mentioned two things. One, who is practicing? Two, why the person practicing? A person practicing want to become one yogi, exponent. A person will run for 200 meters, want to run in 16 seconds or 13 seconds or under 10 seconds. The practice is different. Like that, if you want to become an exponent, a master, you should practice early morning, very early morning. It's about, between 4 and 6, 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. Or that if you want to become the top, kind of yogic way of life and yogic practice, you have to finish your pranayama practice before 6.
Okay.
Or otherwise, the general practice, we can practice from early morning 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. between 6 and 8 for general health. For patients, anytime can practice, but their abdominal condition should be, the abdomen should be empty. Their agni, the digestive power should be in good condition. That means indigestion and the bowel inside, constipation, anytime can't practice. If no constipation, empty stomach can practice anytime. Example, a person want to practice part of treatment, want to practice pranayama about 12 o'clock. Morning breakfast about 8 a.m. In between that person didn't use anything. Then half an hour or 45 minutes, the person want to do pranayama, part of the treatment, can. Okay. But after learning that, regular practice, better to practice between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. or those who want to become yogis, better to practice very early in the morning.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Suresh, for this wonderful presentation. I think we need to hear from you more. Let us hope that there will be more opportunities to hear and to get your expertise in guiding the Ayurvedic doctors to incorporate other yogic modalities. So thank you. Thank you so much. Dr. Dhanya, please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity to present this matter here in front of a fantastic participants. Thank you, everyone. My heartfelt thanks to everyone who made up their mind to listen to my speech today. My biggest inspiration is my classmates. I'm sure some of my classmates are watching this program. and my special thanks to them. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Dhanya. Thank you for giving opportunity for Kerala Ayurveda. Thank you.
Yes, doctor, it was a very wonderful session. So means it's an eye-opening session for us. Actually, we are practicing yoga and Ayurveda, but like integrating both in one under one umbrella. That's one of the great tasks. So I really appreciate your knowledge and your wisdom. And I know the session gave a new vision towards the pranayama integration into Ayurveda. So I'm sure that it will remain a food for thought for all the participants. So thank you, sir, for this wonderful session. And I hope that maybe in incoming sessions, you will give us more sessions. And also, I would like to thank Dr. Jairachan, who's our mentor for today's session, and I'm for his insight as well as very helpful support. And future, I would like to appreciate all the participants. Thank you for your participation, for the knowledge, for thirsting this knowledge and being the part of today's webinar. And also, I would like to thank all the backbone for this webinar, especially Dr. Anil sir and Sindhu sir and Dr. Sadat, Mani sir, Srihari, Vinay, Shekhar, and all the supporters, those who make this webinar a successful thing. And once again, thank you for all and namaste.